Hello, this is Fat Zoid, and Jesus Christ that we make some type of abomination. This is a Dogmatic Despian deck with a splash of Shaddoll and a packs of punch right off the back, and I will say to you, my loyal fans, that you can drop Judgment of the Branded if you do not want to have this in your deck. It is a very odd card. I was running it because I keep running against Blue Eyes White Dragon decks, and it's kind of annoying. So I was like, let's run this, and it's kind of funny seeing all their cards die. So, if you were going to drop it, I would drop it for like Screams of the Branded or another branded card, specifically because you want some type of card that you can discard to Fallen of Albez that has a secondary effect. At least these types of cards that you can reset them, so it feels good and it doesn't just feel like you're going down one card. Other than that, let's go over some of the choices here real quick. We went with Gamma because if we're going second deck and our opponent is doing a bunch of shenanigans, we want to be able to stop what they're doing. Think of it as a second Ash Blossom. We don't run Called by the Grave because we go second. Called by the Grave is a really good going first card. It's also a good going second card to stop hand traps. But specifically, if your opponent is playing something like Tri Brigade and you're going second, you're not really going to be interrupting much with Called by the Grave. So, and that could mean you lose the duel right there. Like having Called by the Grave on your turn really isn't going to do much if they they have their full combo set up with their trap and you had no way of interacting with it. So think of Gamma as a second Ash, and we run Ash because it is Ash Blossom and it is amazing. We run Ecclesia, one of the most standard Dogmatika cards. This card, most of the time, I would say like 90% of the time, you are going to be getting Flordelius. If I pronounce any of these wrong, don't hate me. I'm not good with pronouncing names. Dogmatika Maximus, we have this card in the deck specifically to set up. So we can use this card to pitch this Shaddoll to the graveyard, which will allow us to search our Schism. And with Schism, just with Schism alone, we can go into Winda or Shaddoll Construct, depending on what we have in the graveyard or field. Most of the time, we're going to go into Winda because it'll lock out our opponent from doing a bunch of special summons, which most of the time they just lose the game. If they can't special summon a bunch of monsters, a lot of decks just lose the game. Think of it like this. If you're playing against Tri Brigade, if you're playing against Lyceric Tri Brigade, you're playing against Zodiac Tri Brigade, you're playing against Drytron. If you have Winda out, their deck is shut down. If they have no way of dealing with Winda, their deck is shut down. They cannot play the game. So it's a pretty strong hoser when you can do it. And it's honestly not too difficult to do it. We have Maximus to set it up, but more importantly, we have 3 punishments to set it up. You just punishment, pitch this Shaddoll to the graveyard, and then you can get Schism. You can set up for your next turn. We also run, obviously, the 2 Super Polys with the Fallen Albez to disrupt our opponent's board. Super Poly, obviously, the best one. They can't react to it. They can still react to Fallen of Albez. Still a great card, but this is obviously still much stronger. We are running 2 Albion, the Shroud Dragons. We run it to smooth out the draw. So it allows us to return this to the bottom of the deck and then draw a card, which can be very helpful if you're digging for a specific card. We run only 1 Nadir Servant because we can only run 1. If we could run 3, we would, because this card's really, really good. It does everything you want it to do. Send 1 card from your extra deck to the graveyard, and then add a Dogmatika or Fallen of Albez from your deck to your hand. From your deck or graveyard to your hand. So think of how good that card is, because we have cards like Elder, Entity of, and our Shaddoll cards that we want to send to the graveyard so we can go into our other strategies. Now, you might be saying, hey, Fatzoid, why the hell are you running number 97 Dragulion or Dragalubion? Dude, I'm so bad at pronouncing this. I heard this name, too, like 1,000 times. We run this because... So think of it like this. If we use Theater and we send Dramaturge of Despia and Despian Tragedy, and we fusion summon into Coritus, right? This comes back to the field. Now we have 2 level 8s. We can go into number 97, use 97's effect, summon number 100, use attack Hope Harbinger to number 100, activate Hope Harbinger, and then now you have an OTKO. They're dead. So that's the reason why we're running it. It's actually a really fun package too. I recommend giving it a try. If it's not your forte, don't feel bad about it. But I like it. It feels good when you just OTKO your opponent. Because sometimes if you let your opponent live with like 1,000 life, they can come back very easily, especially with a lot of the meta decks there are right now. One thing I will say about some of these cards is do not push into 5 extra. Try not to push into 5 special summons if you think they have a Nibiru, because a lot of decks are running Nibiru now, especially in like the higher ranks, like in Plat. In Plat, most decks are running like the full package of hand traps. It's kind of annoying, but it's just something you have to deal with. Just be very conscious of it. So if you can OTKO them without going into number 97, I would do that, especially if going into 97 and 100 would push you over to the 5 special summons mark. You don't want to get Nibiru'd. It doesn't feel good. If you guys have any questions, please ask. Remember, these decks aren't 100% perfect. I get around like 30 to 40 games with them. So it's me kind of tinkering them after that many games. That's usually how I come up with these lists because I'm posting every day. But for now, that's all. And I would say look forward to tomorrow where we're going to be going over Despian Dark Lord. I already got that kind of going. And I have a lot of the cards already. So we should be able to go into it. All right. Bye.
I'm a OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. OG boy. Day we hustle, but the night we